Good morning, guys. It is 9:38 a.m. and I'm just making a video responding to, because I was going to make another video, but I was like scrolling through my feed and I saw some lady's video and I went into the comments, which I normally do, go straight to the comments. And then I saw this comment. And I don't fault this person for thinking that. It happens, especially when misinformation is out there, which is this is a really great point. I'm gonna put this is a really great point in 4K of how and why history is important and how it's actively being covered up or has sloppily been covered up, and why it's in and why we make such importance of it. Because when you have blatant lies like this, what that shows is that if they were willing to lie once, they will do it again. History repeats itself. So for us to be safe, we need to know our history so that way we know how people move. And that's the only reason why we do this. It's not to necessarily attack anybody, but it's sick. It's sick behavior. The first person in America to own slaves was not a black person at all. It was actually a guy named William Tucker. William Tucker had a bunch of slaves. He had a bunch of indentured servants. He had white people apparently, as well as black. They say that it was three. Apparently it was like three or odd or whatever. The numbers are so misconstrued, so it's so hard to trust the information written on paper. But from what is documented, there were two. There was Isabella and then a guy named Anthony. And I couldn't find last names. If someone can find last names, just put them in the comment section. But they were from Angola, if I'm not mistaken. They were from Angola. They were brought over by William Tucker. And they had a child with him. Oh, they had a child together. Isabella and Anthony had a child together. And then their child was named after their slave master, William Tucker. And that was in 1621. And then the following year, 1622, another Anthony Johnson, he was also brought over. And then when he completed his indentured servitude, he was then granted land. And then he, obviously participated in the ways of his master, which would be grooming and just, teaching him those ways. I mean, this is a guy from what would be considered a uncivilized nation, as they would say back then. Someone who was easy and able to be taken and sold. So taken and sold from his nation because they were going and taking the people from South and West Africa because they were really good at agriculture and they needed help over here with their tobacco farms and whatnot, which I'll make another video about. But yeah, they were bringing a lot of people over here because a lot of black people over here because they were really good at agriculture and that's what they needed help with. So that's why they brought initially Isabella and Anthony over here, and then William Tucker had them name their kid after him, and then that was 1621. Then the following year, another Anthony Johnson comes over, and he completes his servitude, and then he is granted a plantation, and then he is going to do what he's seen his slave master do. He does what he's seen his slave master do, and he, operates like the white man because the white man owns that land. I mean, that's not anybody's fault but the person who showed it. I mean, would you blame a child for behaving like their parent has always shown them to, or would you blame the parent? I guess that's a better way to put it. So I guess that nipped the butt into that. But like I said, no fault of this guy, because it's not his fault. It's the fault of our leaders and the people who were supposed to tell us the truth, because they have y'all out here looking crazy. Because a lot of y'all don't read, y'all take one-liners and y'all go off of what you hear on TV or wrong facts all the time, and you can't even ask Siri because Siri is going to tell you the wrong information. Hey Siri, who was the first person in America to own slaves?
I found this on the web.
But yeah, it just goes to show you that you just have to do the work. And then I'll also cite my sources down below for those naysayers who will come after me in the comment sections. I'll put the sources down so that way you can look for yourself.